There we go. Nice. Big fish too. Today, we're going to talk about streamer fishing. And why? Because it's fun. And if you haven't tried streamers because you're just not confident or not sure what to do, in this video, I'm going to help you out. We're going to talk a little bit about setup, and then we're going to talk about strategy so you can get out there and catch a fish on a streamer, because it really is a blast, right? It's hard to describe it until you've experienced it yourself. So let's first start with the setup. Today, I'm using my 3-weight. What? So if you're new to streamer fishing, I would use a 5 or a 6-weight, but I love using these lighter setups. And if you can control your cast and just use some different casting techniques, you can use a 3-weight. I'm using one of my go-to flies. It is a Sculptzilla in olive. I don't know what it is about this streamer. I always start with it, and I seemingly always have success. Knock on wood, let's hope that happens today. Right here, tapered leader, right? You want to have nothing lighter than 3X. Otherwise, you're going to be snapping them off in the back cast. Fish don't care. When they're streamer eating, they could give a crap less. You could literally put 20-pound test on there, and the fish will still come up and eat a streamer. 3X is great because you still get a pretty quick sink when you're fishing. I'm also using a line from Cortland that is designed to throw streamers. So this is more of an all-purpose line, but it has a strong enough shooting head that I'm going to be able to throw that streamer out 40 feet without any issue. If I was using some sort of really light fly line, like for dry flies or technical fishing, you're going to have a rougher time. So get something that has a heavier shooting head, and I'll leave the line that I'm using right here down in the pinned comment. So if you're looking for a really good streamer line, this is it from Cortland. A reel, basically you can use really any reel for streamer fishing. I'm using the Ross Colorado Click and Paw. I just love this reel. Love the sound too when you get a hookup. So much fun. And if you're finding this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton. It's free to you. I upload a ton when it comes to lessons, inspiration, and some just basic teachings that you may not have thought of. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that little bell for notifications so you know when I upload the next tutorial. So how do you tie the streamer on? Typically, I am using just an improved clinch knot. You can tie a loop knot as well if you're in a fishery that maybe they're a little more persnickety and they want to have a little more natural movement before they're interested. If you tie a loop knot on, the fly does have a little more, ability to swim around, I guess you can say, move around, to where a clinch knot is more of a direct connection to the line, but it's easier to tie the improved clinch. So I'm going to go with that to start the day. If I'm not getting any takes or I get some follows, then I might switch over to the loop knot. Okay, so now let's talk about river strategy. You can see this is a pretty small stream. It's not huge, but there's some shallow spots. Sometimes you'll get fish that are hanging out in the shallow spots. But what makes me just feel real good about what's next is check out this right over here. Check out that log pile right over here. You can kind of see where the water, it's kind of overexposed here. See if I can get it down. So you can kind of see where the water drops off and underneath there. Now, you're gonna probably lose some flies fishing those spots, but fish love hanging around those structures. So a lot of times you're looking for rocks, you're looking for logs, you're looking for submerged things like these. Log jams can be just great for holding fish. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something underneath that log. It's pretty bright and sunny over there. I wish there was some more shade, but I think if I can get the Sculptzilla close enough to like some of the under edge stuff, they might come out and grab it. So now let's talk about technique, right? There are a lot of ways to fish streamers, but the thing to remember, keep in your brain, right? You're imitating a bait fish. Does a bait fish just kind of swim at one speed and just sort of lazily swing by? Sometimes, but typically bait fish are freaked out, right? If you ever walked down a river and you start stumbling on sculpins or bait fish, they're scattering, they're darting, they're doing all sorts of funky things to get out of your way. It's the same if they see a great big cutthroat or a rainbow or a bull trout, right? They're gonna wanna get the heck out of there. So sometimes swinging will pick it up, the natural movement of the marabou, but I want you to cast directly across. I want you to cast downstream, and I want you to constantly putting some action on it, right? If you're in a deeper hole, let it sink. So you won't do anything until it sinks down. And then do a twitch, twitch, then let it kind of swing and twitch, 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 then stop it and twitch, twitch. That elicits the strike or the follow. If you see a fish following it, try it again, but this time just vary up the retrieve a little bit. Let it sink almost all the way to the bottom if you're in a deep hole. Then twitch, twitch, strip, strip. And you never know, right? You could get a fish on. So you want to be constantly varying what you're doing. And then finally, before you leave a hole, cast it upstream and strip it back as fast as you can. Now, sometimes if the water's really swift, it's hard to do. But if it's moderately swift current to slow current, throw that streamer upstream and strip it back really quick. I've caught a lot of fish after fishing a hole, and I make that final couple of upstream casts. And then what do you know? There's a fish in there that just wanted to see something different. And that panic swim downstream, a lot of times will elicit a strike. If you're in shallower water, right, you're not going to want to let a heavy-weighted fly sink too quickly because you're going to get it stuck on a rock or something else, right? So you're going to have to make sure that fly stays up by moving it. If you're fishing a moderately deep spot, like 3 or 4 feet, you can let it sink a little bit, then pull it up, and it'll kind of come off the bottom like that. And sometimes that'll be the ticket, right? Remember, the fish are down by the bottom, finding places where it's really easy for them to swim, behind rocks, behind logs, anywhere where there's a current break, they're down there. Even if the current looks quick, sometimes the fish will be sitting behind that rock waiting for something to go by because the current's a lot slower right next to the bottom. And remember, you're always swimming the fly. And then finally, 2 more super important tips. The first is don't trout set. When you get a fish, hit your streamer, don't trout set. You want to strip set it in, strip set until you feel it tight, and then bring your rod up. Very important to strip set. That just is a direct connection to the fish. There's not a lot of slack thrown. It's in their mouth. It's hopefully going to get stuck right inside their mouth if you do a strip set. And then pull your rod up. And then finally, if you don't catch anything in 10 or 15 minutes, move. I can't tell you how many people just go to one spot and they fish and they fish and they never move. Move. So I'm fishing probably a 1/4 mile section of the river, and I'll get through that in about an hour. So always be moving if you don't catch a fish. And let's get down to that log jam and see if we can find a fish. There we go. Nice. Big fish too. Big fish. Wow. What a beautiful cutthroat. That guy. That is a pretty fish. Look at this guy. Just a beautiful fish. Nice.